humming the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
This show looks at anything that has an engine and a story told by the owners. This is a scooter. Have you had it the whole time?
I have not. It's actually the third time I've owned the car.
Sell, regret, sell, regret. To the actual prototype GT40, I got to sit in that car.
Oh, I gotta give me one of these, man.
We've got all the muscle, the speed, and the stories.
I got stage 4 cancer. A bunch of friends came together and decided that this thing needed to get done then. A lot of friends came together and made this thing happen.
Hey, if it has an engine and a story, you're going to hear about it on rides. Almost every vehicle, doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, there's some tie to your past.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television program that helps veterans find jobs and transition back into civilian life. Hi everyone, I'm Gigi Stone Woods. I'm truly honored to host this vital program. Reach out to the opportunities you see on this program by logging onto our website, hiringamerica.net, and by following us on social networking sites such as Twitter. We'll keep that information available throughout the broadcast and on our website 24/7. Now, let's get down to business.
For the latest and greatest trends in pop entertainment, Popstar Today brings you compelling celebrity lifestyle stories that matter most to you. From movies, music, TV, and streaming shows, to fashion, social media influencers, and the latest on who is seeing who. Join host Elizabeth Stanton as she digs deep and dives in. This is Popstar Today.
Welcome back to the show. I have Maria with the Tea Party here, and I am so excited. The Tea Party in Eagle is something you don't want to miss. It is so cute, so well done. We were just saying off couch when we were talking that I need to go there. I am so stoked. How did you get the idea? And tell us a little bit about the Tea Party.
Well, you know, I've been living here in the Valley for about 12 years now.
Okay.
And I have 2 daughters. And it's really hard to find a place to celebrate parties
Yes.
during the winter.
Yes.
And that was one of the
main
things that like pushed me to open it.
I love that. And I was going to say, with the 2 daughters, I bet that's where the pink walls came in, maybe. Was that part of it? That is so neat. And why the tea party idea? Was that just kind of like a fun, young kind of feel for young kids to do?
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what? Back in Mexico,
Yes.
there is a place like this one, but
Yeah.
it's bigger.
Oh, okay.
And I just tried like to make us remember when we were kids and play into the tea party.
I love
so
that.
I think
I love that. Well, it's so cool that you said that, because when I first heard about your beautiful spot, I was thinking about when I was a little girl and would play with teddy bears and dolls and just do tea party. And that's such a fun for little girls and little boys. It's like such a fun thing to do. And so I loved that whole bringing back those memories and happiness. And I have to say, on your social media, I've seen a lot of yummy milkshakes coming out of there, as well as little treats. Can you tell us some desserts and what you have there?
Yeah, you know what? The milkshakes were at the beginning
Yes.
just an option.
Right.
Because we were trying to focus on the tea.
Right.
But I think the main star of the tea party are the milkshakes.
I have to be honest, that's what grabbed me. I was like, oh, they are so colorful and so big, and they look amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. So you have tea, you have milkshakes. Do you have little cakes and like desserts?
Yes, we
Okay.
have desserts.
Okay.
And we have cakes like birthday cakes, small ones.
Oh, fun.
Just like if you don't want to buy a big one and just celebrate
Right.
as a couple or by yourself.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
And I love what you just said too. How cool is that? Like, I think, because we were talking, and I don't have children, but I'm like, oh, I'm an auntie to all these kids. I'll take, and you're like, no, Gretchen, you don't even have to bring. You said you've heard some moms saying, hey, we're going to come back without the kids and kind of have a. So if you have kids, you don't have kids, you want to go by yourself. It's such a fun place to celebrate everything, all of life.
Yeah,
So that's
whatever you
neat.
want to celebrate.
Yes, I love that. Now, what does the space look like? Because I know everyone's going to be so excited to hear. And I know, but it's pretty special.
Well, in words of some customers,
Yes.
I can tell you that they say that they were coming in and they feel like they're coming to a palace, to a castle.
Love that. Okay, so
Yes.
that's what I was thinking in my head. It feels like you're stepping into like a magical world, almost like Disney World, like something like a castle. Yes.
Yes, it is.
And I have to brag about you a little bit. I know that this is your first year around doing all of this, and you won a big award here in the Valley, which is so exciting. That
Yes.
is very, very, you should be so proud. That's a big deal.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah, we won the Best of the Valley.
Yes.
Best of the kids party venues.
That is so exciting. So the community, I know, has really taken to this and just loved it. And we were talking about the parade that comes up in December, December 7th, I believe.
Yes.
For Christmas and everything in Eagle. And how you guys did hot chocolate last year. And I remember because I was actually helping out in the parade route with one of my other dogs. And I was like, I want hot chocolate. And everyone was saying they got it from you guys. So you will be doing that again this year
Yes,
as well.
we are going to have hot cocoa.
Cocoa, yeah.
We are going to have chocolate chip cookies
Ooh.
and more desserts.
You're speaking
to
my
offer.
language. I love it. Now, Maria, I know we were talking about all the things that you do there. What are some things that are coming up that I know you're excited about?
Okay, so this Saturday,
Yes.
we are going to have a pop-up sale
Okay.
with mom vendors.
Oh, cool.
Just mom vendors. We're giving them the opportunity to sell their products,
Okay.
their services.
That's so neat.
And yeah,
That's a great way to kind of bring in the community and help other people even. That's brilliant.
Yes.
That's really cool. And then I know that you do, because I was excited about this, cake decorating and things like that as well.
yes, actually last month we have 2 classes.
Okay.
And this month we are going to have one on the 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for beginners.
Girl, I can come. I'm not joking, because literally I was thinking about that. I'm like, I've never done that. Even as like a little girl, I just would like kind of do the cookie, just kind of
Cookie
fun.
decorating.
But I've never decorated like fancy with cake, so that'd be fun.
Yeah, and you can learn like how to filling the cake, how
wow.
to cover, how to make some decorations.
Okay, and so if someone's interested in that, how would they get in contact with you, or how would they?
Well, they can contact us through Instagram or Facebook.
Okay.
We have the email too.
Cool.
The phone number. Any way
You're like, any way you want to get a hold of
Yes.
Maria, you can. And I was going to ask you as well, what is your favorite thing thus far? Because I know it's been, is it a year?
Yes.
What has been one of your favorite memories there? Because I know I have to speak from like just knowing it's a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears to put in your heart in this business. Like, right, your eyes just got so big.
It is.
But you've done beautifully, and people really love it and accepting of it and love it in the community. What is one of your favorite memories so far? I know that's a loaded question, right? You're like, put me on the spot, gotcha.
It's hard, but I think that just seeing the kids' face when they're celebrating a party, I think I keep that.
There's nothing better.
Nothing better
Just
than that.
excitement and that joy.
Yes.
I love that. I think that is so brilliant. And can you kind of tell us in Eagle where you're located?
Okay. The address is 403 Broadway Street.
Okay. Right on Broadway.
Right
we all
on
know.
Broadway.
Yep.
Yes, and just in the corner.
That is so awesome. Oh, I'm so excited for you, and congratulations on all your success. It is so very exciting, and I'm going to get in there. I cannot wait to come in. I will be there. Every single person I've talked to is just ranting and raving, and those milkshakes, I'm coming in. I can't wait. Thank you so much. And go check out Maria and the Tea Party. It is so beautiful, so much fun. And keep it right here. We have more of the show to come.
Good morning, Vail.
Next up, we've got a special duo from two of the best voices in the bluegrass and country genres.
We know you're going to love this one from Melanie Cannon and Willie Nelson. Here's Back to Earth.
And the songs our love created, I still sing. And every night we make the rafters ring.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
I'm Jason Kennedy, and this is The Wager. Let's go, Wes! We've all heard about this pickleball craze. Celebrities are playing pickleball matches all the time, and they're challenging each other to these ridiculous bets. Now I'm bringing the cameras to their house with new celebrities and a new bet every week.
Hell of a rally there.
It's just real, genuine conversation.
I got invited to Usher's birthday party. What am I doing here?
And some pretty crazy antics.
Welcome to Nantucket Rope Bracelets. All of our stylish bracelets are handmade in our Nantucket workshop, using only the best non-shrinking line with soft, flexible finish. Find us at nantucketropebracelets.com and order your beautiful piece from Nantucket today.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today.
Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. Now, I know we're all very excited for opening day here in Vail Valley very soon around the corner. And our very own Ross is going to teach us how to wax the snowboard. Let's take a look.
Kim and I are back in the kitchen cooking up my specialty this morning. Not actually cooking, but we're gonna wax Kim's board for her today. Kim, how many days have you ridden this board?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, I got it at the end of the season last season, so
Okay.
it's still pretty new, but just not new enough where the factory wax is still on it. So
Yeah.
very excited for you to show me your expertise in the kitchen.
Yeah, so the way the wax kind of works on a snowboard is you're actually melting the snow below you when you're snowboarding.
Oh, interesting.
So that wax kind of helps get a nice smooth glide on the kind of that layer of water you create, which is the science behind it. So it's important you wax your board probably every 2 weeks or so, depending how much you ride, but every 10 to 20 days you probably want a fresh wax. They come in different types, so for cold weather, there's a certain wax you use for when it's really cold. In the springtime, there's a different wax, a little bit warmer, so all sorts of science behind it. All the ingredients you need is an iron and some wax, okay?
So I have a question for you
Go
about
ahead.
the wax.
Yep.
So how do you know which wax would you need for like winter or spring if you're new?
Yeah, so they're pretty well labeled. One of the brands I really like is this Mountain Flow Eco Wax. It's this guy out of Carbondale, out of his garage, that made this, and he designs the boxes so it says a temperature, so
Great.
it's like a certain temperature that you're looking for. But today we're going to use a little Birds of Prey wax. This was a nice little gift that the Birds of Prey races gave to some of us. So we got our iron nice and hot. All we're going to do is just kind of melt the wax onto the board here.
A 2-ingredient recipe. I'm a big fan of this.
This is my kind of recipe. So you can kind of go as much or as little as you like. If you do too much, you just scrape it off at the end. That's kind of the next step. I kind of like to just do a nice little half the board.
So you're just touching the wax to the iron,
That's
and
it.
just melts in little droplets, and
That's
you're just blending it all over the base
That's
of the
right.
board.
So this is a pretty decent board. It's not super dry, but we're gonna get a nice layer of wax on it, kind of from the top to the bottom, from the nose to the tail, and we're just gonna kind of nice and evenly wax it in. The heat from the wax melts it again and kind of creates a nice little layer here. So this is a great activity to do late in the day.
Yeah.
Crack open a drink. I usually like to do this for friends. If you got that one friend in your group that you're always waiting on, you give them a fresh wax, and they're a little bit faster. So that's
Hey,
kind
let me help you out.
That's kind of a trick here. So super simple, 2 ingredients. We're just gonna get the second half now. And yeah, I just waxed my own board a couple days ago, so I'm okay for at least a week here.
Now, as you're melting it, so you took the iron and the wax and you're melting it onto the board, and now you're kind of remelting it as you evenly distribute it.
That's right.
But the wax dries very quickly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does the heat, is it still hot? I'm not going to touch the other end because.
No, it's not super hot. You definitely want to be careful because we have a hot iron in our hands, so that's kind of the most dangerous thing, or you don't want to touch your fingers. As you can see, I'm holding the wax all the way on the iron, so that's where you want to be really careful you're not sticking your fingers on the iron. And this is just it's nothing special. This is just an iron you could iron your clothes with, right? So
Okay.
It's not anything crazy. You could get these at any of your local ski shops usually.
Could you get one maybe at Walmart even if
Probably,
you didn't have
yeah,
access to it?
for sure. And I've had this iron for 10 plus years, and it's just part of my kind of snowboarding equipment at this point. So I like to get the tail and the nose as well. I never know how much you're going to be buttering around and keeping your nose and tail up in the air, but kind of give it one last look at those last couple ones that we might have missed. And we're just creating a nice little layer of wax here on the snowboard.
Well, it looks great, and you can just see it doesn't matter if it's super evenly distributed because you mentioned there's another step after this.
That's right, that's right. So it's pretty straightforward. This is where we'd maybe crack another drink, give the wax a chance to settle here before we start scraping it. Some of the other tools that I like to use, we've got this kind of like rock edge. This is going to sharpen our edges for us, which is really important. We want sharp edges to grip the snow, right? So if you have kind of dull edges, it's harder to make those turns. This is a very similar kind of step-by-step process for the skis. Obviously, there's 2 of them, and there's more edges, so it's a little bit more work.
A little more time consuming.
As the snowboarders, it's pretty easy to just do this. So we have our edge tool, and then we also kind of have a little brush that I like to use This kind of just creates grooves in the wax.
Okay.
So as you're snowboarding along, you kind of create even more gliding with it.
Okay.
So this is kind of not necessary, just something I like to use. And then our scraper, which we'll use to scrape the wax off.
Awesome.
So it's pretty straightforward.
Sure. So looking at the edging tool and the sharpening the edges. So you mentioned that you want to wax your board every 10 to 20 days. And I imagine you obviously kind of do them both simultaneously, but let's say you don't want to wax. How do you know when you need to sharpen your edges?
Yeah, I mean, it's a feel, right? We're also like carrying our boards around all the time, right? So we want to be careful with our edges, but if you're starting to feel it in your hand and it doesn't have that kind of sharpness to it anymore, you can feel it. And then also you can kind of look at it too. Sometimes you get a little bit of rust because it is water, right? So it'll kind of rust over, and you can kind of sharpen those up and get some of the rust off.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely carry my board around with the glove, and if I can carry it without my glove on, then I know it's time.
Yeah, and there's tons of ski shops and snowboard shops that can help you with this, but this is a very easy thing to do, and it's a fun thing to do. It's kind of therapeutic for me, and you can just do it at home on a table. All you need is an outlet and an iron, and it's pretty fun and easy to do.
It makes you look like an expert.
And it goes so quickly. Yeah, exactly. And again, I love to I usually wax every one of my coworkers' boards before, so it's something I like to do. Because again, like if someone's having a hard time out there, this just makes it like a new board and it's more enjoyable, right?
It really is.
And they can keep up, right?
And renewed excitement on getting back out, and they can keep
exactly,
up. I love that.
Exactly.
So
while this dries, I'm going to go ahead and just start on the edges.
Okay.
This tool does have little arrows, so it kind of goes directional.
Okay.
You can get stuff like this all over, but really what it is just kind of like a stone that's going to sharpen our edges. I like to go from the nose to the tail, and just one way. So we're going to make sure we got it going the right way, and we're just going to kind of sharpen the edges here.
Now, is there like a method to the way that you sharpen it? You said nose to tail, so that's the start of it.
Yeah, really.
Do you go over it several times, or just
yeah,
kind of how it
for
feels?
for sure. I go over it a couple times. I usually try to go like nice and easy the first time through. And since we're on a box here, I'm gonna have to lift this one up. But I like to get just a couple kind of goes at it.
Okay.
And then I like to do like one long top to bottom.
So you do a little bit of a brushing and then smooth it all the way out.
Yeah, you can kind of hear it, right? So the stone has kind of grooves on it, and that's really what's sharpening it.
So it's like a pumice stone for your board.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. And this is something you can kind of carry in your pocket. So if you have an old board and you're constantly having to sharpen your edges, this is just a small tool that you can carry with you or just kind of leave out and about.
Awesome.
Yeah, so this heel edge is a little rough here.
Now, I love that we're doing this as an educational piece on our show, but I also am loving it because I'm getting a free wax and sharpening and tuning on my board.
Yeah, and so the next time you go out, with all this snow, we use kind of a cold weather wax. We got all these cold temperatures in the forecast, so definitely kind of want to use that cold one. And then it's tough and then as it heats up, you kind of want a different wax. So it's a little playing that game of what's the temperature, what's the wax I want to use. I usually have 2 to 3 waxes in my bag to use. And again, all we need is just something kind of to put in between our bindings, prop it up, and an outlet. And it's pretty straightforward. So this is feeling pretty dry. You can feel it's still kind of warm, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I'm a weird brush guy. I do the brush before and after.
Okay.
We're about to scrape it off, so not all of it's going to stay. So that's why I like to do it before and after.
Okay.
But this is just a nice straight line, nothing crazy. You're not going to hurt your board doing this. If anything, you're going to help it. The only things to worry about are putting too much wax on.
Okay.
If there's too much wax, you're going to stick a little bit.
So if you can see it, that's probably too much wax.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's okay too if you have a little bit of wax on your board, a little too much, because as you go down the mountain, it's going to come off.
Okay.
So sometimes what I like to do is I'll wax it, and then I'll kind of pick a nice steep run and get some speed, and that'll kind of melt the excess wax that I have. So I'm going to scrape it as much as I can.
Okay.
And then all we're going to do is use our scraper tool.
Okay.
And we'll see how this works on this box, but we're just going to kind of push it down and see how that wax is starting to come up.
Yeah, looks great.
So we'll do that a couple times, get the wax off, edges are sharp, and we'll be ready to rock.
I'm ready to go straight on the mountain with you today.
Easy, yeah, and
all that snowfall and all of the waxing that we just did. Let's go.
And that's about 10 minutes or less, or you could let it sit for longer and take your time and make an evening of it. But it's pretty straightforward.
Sounds great. Well, it looks like Ross and I need to get out on the mountain for the rest of the show, even though we'll be here in studio. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Vail.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, we see one couple fall in love with a waterfront fixer-upper.
Just it sort of wrapped its arms around us and said, you want me, and we did.
And watch as another battles over the budget.
We're trying to look through and see where we can trim at this point.
Are you looking to trim it, Ginger?
No.
No. Construction pros show us the right way to renovate.
Well, we had to do a roof over. We had to hand build a lot of the trusses.
As we're putting the thin set down, the self-leveler has a little clip that clips up underneath the edge of the tile.
Coming at you from around the world. The biggest names in sports, entertainment, and business.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's no way. Exclusive access and one-on-one conversations.
Yeah, you guys really did some deep research.
I don't think we should give him any more information.
In depth with Graham Bensinger.
Discover the perfect blend of style and performance in your eyewear at Eyepieces. With convenient locations in Vail Village, Lions Head, Beaver Creek, Edwards, Basalt, and Snowmass, Eyepieces is the destination for luxury eyewear and high-performance optics. From iconic brands to the latest in sport frames and snow goggles, we have the eyewear to match your mountain lifestyle. Plus, we offer prescription lens services, including eye exams, custom lenses, and prescription goggles for your mountain adventures. Visit us today to experience the art of vision. Eyepieces, serving the Vail Valley's vision needs for over 40 years.
I'm Andrea Jackson.
I'm Mitch English, welcoming you to
Mitch English and Andrea Jackson have co-hosted together for over a decade. And now, only on Daily Flash, they serve up a fast, fun, fresh perspective on the day's trending news and entertainment. Daily Flash offers the latest in pop news, celebrity gossip, fashion, health, wellness, and even some unscripted, irreverent, who knows what's next fun. Daily Flash with Mitch English and Andrea Jackson, trending news and entertainment.
Hi, it's Julio Garcia with TV8, and we're about to add some extra jolly to your holiday season. Join us for TV8's 12 Days Before Christmas and ring in the New Year advertising specials. For just $250, you can advertise your business on TV8 during the all-important holiday season. We'll run your commercial spot 10 times per day for 12 days. That's 120 spots to help drive traffic to your business. Choose the 12 Days of Christmas or run your ad during the Ring in the New Year special, which starts on December 26th and runs for 12 days. Or better yet, purchase both for just $450. Don't have a commercial? Don't worry, TV8 will help create one from your photos or videos at no extra charge. So don't delay, a deal this good won't last long. Contact the station to reserve your spot, and from all of us at TV8, have a wonderful holiday season.
Good morning, Vail.
This is going to be cuteness overload. Now tonight you can go see Peter Pan Jr. tonight, this Saturday night. Let's take a look. We got to sit down and talk to some of the cast.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Well, if there's something in the Valley that yells pageantry and production, it's Home Stake Peak School and their performances. I have got the cast of Peter Pan Jr. sitting around me, and we're going to talk to each one here, talk about what their role is, introduce themselves, pass the mic around, and learn a little bit more about this Peter Pan Jr. production that's going to take place.
Hello, my name is Sawyer, and my role in the play is Tiger Lily.
Hi, my name is Lula, and my role in the play is Michael.
My name is Jessica, and my role in the play is Peter Pan.
I'm going to hand it off to you. Now you're official.
My name is Peyton, and my role is Wendy.
Hi, my name is Joshua, and my role is John.
My name's Deb, and I am the director of the show.
I'm Micah, and I am Mr. Darling.
I'm Harper. I play Smee.
I'm Kai, and I play Captain Hook.
I'm Sophia, and I'm Nana and Jukes.
I'm Aubrey, and I play the role as a lost boy named Slightly.
Slightly?
Yes.
Lost. All right. Slightly lost, maybe. All right. Well, what I know from Home State Peak is in your performances, there's a lot of practice that takes place. A lot of practice that takes place for this. When did you start practicing for this event?
Well, we started at almost middle of August, I think, was when we had auditions. And then as soon as school started, we were in rehearsal at least 2 afternoons a week and 1 morning a week.
Wow. That is incredible.
Yep.
A lot of stuff going on. How many hours a day?
At the beginning, we're talking 2 hours.
We're usually about 2 hours, usually right after school till about 5 o'clock. But as we start getting closer to the show time, like Sunday, we were in rehearsal from 2 until 6 o'clock at night. And these last couple days, 3 to 6, we're putting in a lot of time here.
That's a lot of dedication. And again, like I know, the performances, you get a good turnout for the performances. Those what are you going to do, 4 performances?
We actually have 3 performances.
Okay.
Well, 3 full performances. We
All
do a
right.
performance Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, 6:30 at Home Stake Peak. We also do a shortened preview in the morning of Thursday, which we do for the lower school kids, like 1st through 4th grade.
That's a beautiful auditorium there, too. I can't believe, that is one of those things when you walk into that school, you go, oh my goodness.
I know, we
What a-
got to take advantage of it, having been a high school several years ago.
Right, right. Now let's pass the mic back and talk a little bit about Peter Pan Jr., a little bit behind this. People know Peter Pan, but what is the whole Peter Pan Jr.?
It's a large production, I'd say so. We have lots of different types of characters. We have the Lost Boys, they're Peter's friends, and basically they're brothers. They're also Wendy's children when they go to Neverland. And then we have the pirates. Captain Hook is their captain. And they're fun. I like our songs the most. We have the Darling family. They're fun. We get to see them in the beginning and the end of the show. Lots of songs, funny lines. I'd say it's a funny, lighthearted show.
Nice. What's the group's favorite song?
Oh, that's
a hard one.
For me, I'd say it's definitely the tango, Hook's tango.
Tango. Is that something we may be able to give a little preview on?
Unfortunately not, because actually what's interesting about the show is that Hook and the Pirates, they do a tango, a tarantella, and a waltz. The Brave Girls have a very different kind of a feel that they do with their martial arts sticks. The Lost Boys have some of the songs that a lot of people know, like I Won't Grow Up and I've Got a Crow. And then there's, of course, Peter and Wendy, Michael, John, who are part of many of those, but also do I'm Flying. So we have very distinctive groups doing
Oh
different
my
songs.
goodness. So there's a lot to this. Many, many layers that we just can't get into today. And we don't want to give too much away.
Well,
We got to keep everybody in suspense to keep those ticket sales going. Now, what is this? I love props. You carried this in.
Yep.
What is it?
So that's kind of my martial arts stick, like Miss Deb said. It's what I use for the dances that we do, and the 4 other Brave girls that are in the show, they have a stick as well. It's just shorter than mine, and we'll do like spins and stuff like that with our sticks during.
Well, that's a lot of practice too.
Yeah,
Keep
for sure.
keep a hold of that stick while you're spinning it around. Now, where can people go to get tickets?
They can go. You can go to our website, hpsdrama.org. There's a link right on there for tickets. And, if you don't get a ticket there, please come to the door. The show opens at 6:30. It goes for about an hour. Come early. We'll have a bake sale. And
That's always a staple item at the...
it is a staple item for us. So lots of goodies, but I'd say, you can certainly come to the door. We'd love to have you buy them online ahead of time, just because we usually end up with a little bit of a lineup, and then the actors are waiting backstage to get out and entertain.
All right, well, get out there, viewers, get your tickets, because this is surely going to be a performance you do not want to miss. Anything that happens at Home State Peak, again, the pageantry, the performance is first rate, and these performers that are sitting next to me are going to be no exception to keeping that going. So get out there, support Home State Peak. Get that bake sale. I'm telling you, a lot of tasty treats out there to be had. So get early, buy some baked goods, and enjoy this performance. We'll be back soon with more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
Join host Madison Brown as she visits with guests ranging from country star Toby Keith to magician Tommy Wynn. Explores the kitchen from cake decorating to cooking Hawaiian style, all while exploring unique locations across the country. Check your local listings and tune in.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. Now, we got a chance to sit down and talk to someone from Revolution Recovery Services. Let's check it out.
If you're looking for a great way to maybe improve your life, well, Revolution Recovery Services is the way to do it. And I'm here with the founder, Dustin Straight. Good morning, Dustin.
Good morning.
We love having you here because you bring a whirlwind of, one, positivity, but realism with it. And sometimes you hit on some heavy subjects, but then you offer support as people are working their way through it.
Yeah. So, founder of Revolution Recovery Services. I noticed a gap in the community. Some people may be aware that there's a pretty high level of substance use and addiction in the Valley. And there was sort of a gap for something called intensive outpatient programming, which when a lot of people think of treatment, they think of like going somewhere for 30 days. This is different than that. IOP, intensive outpatient program, is where a person can live and work and still come in and have resources at their disposal, group therapy, individual therapy, psychiatric services, all under kind of one roof. And it's a really good way to kind of figure out where you are in your sobriety journey. So if somebody doesn't necessarily have the time or the resources to go away for 30 days, cool, you can come into IOP. If things aren't really working out and we're having difficulty stabilizing the addiction, we just refer up to a higher level of care, and then when you come back after 30 days or 45 days or whatever it is, you've got that support system to reintegrate. It's not terribly difficult to stay sober in a facility where you're monitored 24 hours a day.
Right.
It's when you come home, and that's really what the idea of Revolution Recovery Services was.
When we have such a problem here, which is awful to say, but it's true because especially around this time of year, the trifecta of holidays that are coming up and people start to feel alone and kind of secluded from their regular family time and life because we're all so busy this time of year that it does make it really hard for people to stay on the wagon and stay sober or stay to a place where they're at least functioning. And we see it so frequently, and it's so tragic here in our community because we are so outdoorsy and we have all of these great resources to be in nature, but then it's important that we have these resources where people can feel like they have that support, so maybe they're not chugging a bottle of booze a day by themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that's another one of the areas of focus for an IOP program is we want to educate on the disease of addiction because it's a disease of the brain. It's a manageable disease. It's not a moral bankruptcy issue. It's not a moral failing. It's not weakness. It's none of those things. So then we look at coping skills, like how do I cope on the daily? What can I do there? And how do I do relapse prevention? What are the warning signs? Because there's actually quite a few warning signs when you really educate yourself on the disease and your own personal behavior. You can kind of see a relapse coming. And then we look at, okay, what is your philosophy for your life, for yourself? Because most of us teach ourselves some sort of misinformed philosophy, like the only way I can have fun or connect to people is through drinking.
Right.
That's actually not true. When I was in active addiction, I thought that.
Right.
And then I went to treatment, I figured some things out, and I had some people help me along the way. And then I realized, oh my God, like I can do all of these things and I don't actually need drugs and alcohol to enjoy my life. And then I think another thing is, and I mean, we're in the midst of it right now, right? Shoulder season, where a lot of people struggle with connection. A lot of people think, sobriety is just not drinking. That's actually not the case. It's the opposite of addiction is connection. So connecting to other people, and that's another benefit to IOP and getting plugged into the sober community. There's a fairly vibrant sober community here in the Valley.
Yes, there is.
It's just we don't walk around with T-shirts on that say I'm sober
or big buttons.
Yeah, we don't do that. We're just living, working, and enjoying our life here. So that's another thing that we really focus on in the intensive outpatient program is creating connection within the group dynamic, but also focusing on confidentiality. That's a big concern for most clients is it's a small town. So confidentiality is paramount, and it allows people to feel safe and do the clinical work that they need to be doing.
Which I think is really important, because that feeling safe aspect is what totally changes the game for so many. Now, you spoke on coping mechanisms that you have that you could watch to see if maybe you do need some help. And so what are some of those coping mechanisms that are not the best to be using this time of year?
So as far as coping skills, right, so it's kind of 4 categories. There's triggers, right, things that activate someone with a substance use disorder to go and use, essentially, is the super basic definition. A coping skill is going to be something I deploy in the moment. So I was running late this morning, right? I was chasing my daughter around the house, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to be late. This is the worst thing that's ever going to happen. Right? So now I'm in something called catastrophizing. So I've just taken something very small, I've made it very huge. One of the things we focus on is keeping things the right size. We do that through the application of dialectical behavioral therapy. So if the opposite of the catastrophe is, it's not a big deal if I'm late at all. We want to find something in the middle. So what we're doing is we're changing the language we're using in our narration about our life. It's kind of funny, I was listening to this lecture the other day, and this guy was talking about the word abracadabra, which means as I speak, I create. It's a Hebrew word. I had no idea. And I think that there's a lot of truth there. As I speak to myself, my narration in my head, I create my reality. And so a coping skill is training and practicing on, okay, how do I speak the truth to myself, not my truth, but the truth to myself to change my reality. So the reality this morning was, if I'm late, I'll be disappointed, but it's going to be okay.
Right.
So I'm taking the temperature down. And if I can do that throughout my day, all of a sudden I have sort of a emotional regulation and a baseline that's far better for me, and it's going to reduce the likelihood of relapse. The other kind of 2 categories is we have risk factors and protective factors, right? So there's environmental risk factors. We live in a small town. There's lots of bars, there's lots of restaurants, there's lots of places where you might have used or continue to use. That would be an environmental risk factor. So what can I do to what can I put in place? What protective factors can I use? So like a holiday party, right? That's the season we're into. Risk factor, the party. Protective factor, setting a time limit on what time you're going to leave. The longer you're there, the higher the likelihood of a relapse, right? So some of these things are incredibly basic, but when we kind of start there, we can begin to dig deeper and really look into someone's self-concept and what is the addiction addressing that nothing else is at this point in their life. So a lot of times we hear like, oh, addiction's terrible. Yes, it is. But for the person with the substance use disorder, what's right about the addiction for them?
Right.
Something's working for them, and how do we find that solution somewhere else?
Right. It's a distraction, or it's a numbing aspect, or it makes them feel comfortable. Like you said, it gives them that courage to be social and make connections with people. But the connections you make in that moment aren't necessarily genuine. So
no, I use the word synthetic, and there's actually theory in addiction where addiction is an attachment style. So if someone's been through some tough stuff in their lifetime, some trauma, whatever, they've experienced rejection. One thing that's really kind of, and I don't misinterpret this, one thing that's really nice about drugs and alcohol is they don't judge me, they don't reject me, they don't lie to me, they're not going to physically harm me. I mean, they will over time. So a relationship with drugs and alcohol can sometimes feel safer than relationships with people. Obviously, that's not true in the long run. You might have relationships with bad people that are those are bad. But finding healthy relationships to replace that relationship you have with the substance, that's another reason why we like connection, right? It's authentic connection, it's authentic relationship versus synthetic relationship, which we as human beings, we're aware when something's fake.
100%. Now, there's so many great portals that we could go down with all of this great information, and that's always...
I kind of nerd out, sorry.
But that's why we love having you here, because I think that it gives a perspective that not everyone will come across in their day-to-day life, and not everyone will see. So if people are interested in working with you and spending some time chatting and becoming part of this recovery group, how can they get in contact?
Super easy. I mean, the phone number's on the website. Go to the website, revolutionrs.com. There's a contact page. I usually respond to people within a couple of hours, worst case scenario, 24 hours. Because getting people in when they've kind of found the courage to reach out is really important. So I try to be as rapid as I can with response.
Dustin, thank you so much for coming in, giving us all this great information and nerding out. I love when you do it.
Thanks for having me.
Make sure that if you are starting to struggle this time of year and you know that it's going to continue into the holiday season, you get ahead of it and you find the best resource in our community, which is going to be
Revolution.
Why can't I say it? Revolution Recovery Service. And that way you can work with Dustin, who's an absolutely incredible therapist here in our community. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
One of the longest-running syndicated television series is back, America's Black Forum, a weekly series highlighting the latest in our lifestyles, business, entertainment, and finance. We introduce you to entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the business world and leaders who are fighting for change.
Welcome to America's Black Forum.
Tune in each week to know what's happening in our world today on America's Black Forum.
Stevie Lee Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces.
Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Tune into Coffee with America and start your day in the right direction, where we go over the latest and greatest in health, lifestyle, entertainment, and more. Start your day off on Coffee with America.
Hi, I'm Ben Belgrad, and I'm the owner of Drinking Vessels here at Bat Country Studios in Minturn. And I've been in the Valley for 7 years. I moved to the Valley because a friend helped me to get my vision off the ground, building my glass studio here, and being so close to snowboarding. So here at the studio, we're acting as a broker for 50 to 100 artists from around the country. We also offer glassblowing classes, and we bring many artists from around the country here to be able to work and create art collaboratively and be so close to skiing and all the activities we have here in the Valley. Here at Drinking Vessels, we specialize in handmade glass drinkware from artists around the country and around the world. Some of these are produced as more of an item you could get in sets and kind of get different color options as time goes on. And some of these are completely one of a kind and really high-end art that's unlike anything people have seen before. While I'm an artist myself here at the studio, I'm representing between 50 and 100 other artists from around the country. And most of these artists are able to spend most of their time working on their art while we help handle their marketing and their sales and the distribution and representation, allowing them more time to focus on their art. That's really my privilege in running this business, is creating that support and providing that platform for this big group of artists that are part of a movement that's very important to me.
Good morning, Vail.
Thank you for spending this Saturday morning here on the couch with us early. Good morning, Vail. We had so much fun with you today. I know lots of us are very excited to get our ski and snowboard on. So hopefully Ross helped you out a little bit with the waxing of your snowboard. Have a beautiful Saturday, and we'll see you right here tomorrow for more Good Morning Vail. Have a great day.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies.